Hello YouTube, how is everybody doing? I hope your week is going good. So today is Tuesday, and on Tuesdays I like to give you the update on my tops. Now what do I classify as a top? Anything with armholes, so tank top, like a tee, a sweater, a cardigan, all that falls under tops in my opinion. And if you've been with my channel for a little while and watched some of my videos regarding my top Tuesdays, you guys will know I have a pattern that I do plan on making. I've had it for some time. Like, oh goodness, I've probably had the printed out pattern from the library. I'm going to guess about 7 years or so roughly. And I did attempt to make it already once with some red fuzzy yarn I had in my stash. I had enough for supply wise, but the pattern was just not working out quite the way I wanted it to, and I made a few mistakes, so I scratched that pattern or that attempt. I thought, okay, I'll put it on hold for now, try and get different yarn because the yarn was not the greatest to work with. And then I decided, you know what? Let's see if I can make this pattern into a cardigan. I love cardigans, and I wanted, like the last couple I've made, I've been more at the waist length, and I wanted one more of the hip length. So, just a smidge longer to keep that lower back kind of warmer when you're out and about kind of thing. So I thought, okay, well, this pattern can easily be worked in rows back and forth. I just need to add one extra stitch due to in the round, one particular row you'll do a double crochet at the beginning of the round, but the last stitch you technically do is a chain one and skip one. Well, you can't end a row that way, so I had to add an extra stitch, and that was the only row that, had to be changed because the rest just other single crochets or half doubles, and I went with it. And also, you've been watching my channel for a while, you guys know that in the 9-row repeat pattern, there's 2 rows where you got to go back and do 2 earlier rows. And the one attempt I was doing with the top was, I think I was on repeat 3, and I went back and did those 2 rows. I had to repeat, but instead of going back in the pattern to the end to finish the last 2 rows, I just continued on like I was where I was supposed to be in the pattern. So yeah, it just not good. So where the stitch marker is where I showed this to you guys last time. I have 2 more rows to do, and I've got 1 panel done. Now the sleeves, like the shoulder down to the sleeves, is going to be like a major drop sleeve, just because I wanted it wide enough that it'll cover my whole back, no problem, and I didn't have to add any extras down the side, and I didn't have to put a big lapel on it. Like, I'm going to put a good size one on it, but didn't have to be super, super big because, it didn't cover a fair bit across the front. So, like I said, the stitch marker is where I was last time you guys seen this. I put a good amount of work into it. And like I said, it's got 2 more rows to go, and then I will have this half done. Now I decided, I know I brought it up to you guys before, and I kind of drew a diagram, and it wasn't the best. I do apologize, I can't draw that great. But I was debating on if I was going to do 2 separate panels, and then when both panels were done, stitch them up the back till I got halfway, and then, tried it on kind of thing, and see if it sat the way I wanted to. And I thought, that's where I'm going to go. But then, with 2 more rows left to go, this pound of love is looking very floppy. And, like, to be truthful, if I take out what's left that I need for the 2 more rows, I'll have just enough to do the 2 sleeves, and I don't even know how long they're going to be. Like, they're going to be worked at both at the same time. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it the other way, where I do the 1 panel back and forth kind of thing. And then when I do the last round of said pattern, do it all the way through. And then reverse the pattern. So do row 9 first, then 8, 7, 6, and all the way up to 1. And then to start the second panel, though, because both row 9 and row 1 are single crochets. So when I work row 9 again, because I got to do that one twice in a row, which will still keep the pattern the same, I'm going to only work up half the stitches And then when I started this first panel, I did a foundless single crochet row or whatever, where you don't do the chains, you kind of work it all in one. So I'm going to do half the pattern attached to this and then do the number of foundless, chainless, single crochets and finish that row so that it's already split into two. I hope you guys understand what it is I'm trying to say. I didn't redraw it to show it to you. And then I'm thinking that way too, I don't have to add, like, tie off and then sew the two pieces together and start a whole nother piece and have more ends to sew in, because, like, again, you guys know me, I do as little as sewing as possible. If I can cheat the system, I'm cheating the system. Make it less work for me. Like, I love doing granny squares, just don't like doing the sewing in. I love doing like ripple blankets and shell blankets and stuff like that. Again, don't like sewing in all the ends. If I could do a yarn that is a long stripe yarn and change on its own, I would rather do that for those items than change colors every round or every couple rows. So anyways, that is my current update on my top. It's coming along. Well, cardigan, sorry, not well. Yeah, top, cardigan, how you want to look at it. Tomorrow will be Whip Wednesday, and I do have a whip for you guys. It's my last time-sensitive project. I am designing this one on my own. My donut book does not have a donut for said item I'm making. So I am, again, for the second time this month, winging my donut, designing it myself. And I think that what I've chosen will work. And so if you guys want to see what I'm talking about and you're new, please consider hitting that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and ring the bell so you know every time I post a video or go live. I am mainly a yarn channel. I crochet and I knit. Occasionally I will break out the loom, but I haven't touched that in a long time just because last project I attempted, I got frustrated on it, but it was my tension. I do need to work on that a little better, and I might pick it up again someday. We never know. But I also will go camping, and sometimes I may share videos of the campfire, or if we went out somewhere to see fireworks, or if hubby and I have gone fishing. So you never quite know what you might get from me. I also am in the process of growing my first vegetable garden on my balcony here in the city. So yeah, it's going to be a busy year, I think, this year for me for stuff. But I would love to have you on my channel. So please, like I said, come on over, join me. If you have any ideas for things you'd like to see on the channel, please let me know. Now, I do have to give you guys a warning. My recording is either done on my tablet, which it only has a one-sided camera. So while recording on the tablet, I can't switch the camera to show you me. And then I record on my laptop. I do not have a significant, desk area to do tutorials and stuff like that, nor do I have the overhead camera type idea or, proper lighting. I just have a floor lamp that has 3 settings that my husband and I actually got as a wedding gift. That is the light source I'm using right now. So to do tutorials, I cannot do. But if you like maybe to see something or say, hey, Tammy, do you know how to do this or that? Or, what's your thoughts and opinions on this? Or you want to take me for, something, go ahead. I would love to participate. Anyways, guys, I will talk to you soon and have a great night.